Hello and welcome to the shed. In today's video we're going to be comparing Japanese chisels to Western chisels. What's the difference? So I have three chisels here. I have my Japanese chisel, I have an inexpensive modern Western chisel, and I have a vintage Western chisel. For the most part, there's not too much difference between these two Western chisels, so I'm going to remove the vintage one out of here because we're essentially looking at the same thing. So first up, we can see that they look different. Obviously, the Japanese chisel looks short. My Lubin chisel is longer. One fundamental thing when it comes to Western versus Japanese chisels is that the Western chisels are longer, so maybe you get a little more use out of this. I'm not sure. Now, one other thing in the design that we see, which is different in the Japanese chisels, is the backs. The backs of a Japanese chisel are always hollowed out like this. It makes it much easier to flatten. We don't have all of this material we have to flatten. We just have to make contact around the outside edge and flatten it. So flattening with these and keeping them flat is much easier than a Western style chisel like this. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, you flatten a chisel once and it stays flat. Well, over time and depending the conditions you live in, they do move. So it is something that I like to check on my chisel once a year. A lot of people say, you know, do it once and you only have to do it once, but in my experience they do go out of flat a little bit, especially the modern alloys in these ones. I've found that they tend to go out of flat more than my Japanese chisels. And then when it comes to Japanese chisels, they will always have a ferrule on the end here. This is a forged steel ferrule and it's knocked over. These ones already came ready and set up, but a lot of your Japanese ones, they come with the ferrule and you have to set it up on the handle yourself and burr it all over on the top to actually get it to seat. So just know that that is one thing that does happen. The reason they always have that is that a Japanese chisel is designed to be hit with a metal hammer, always a metal hammer. Most of your Western chisels, you probably wouldn't be hitting them with a metal hammer. Some people might, and that does depend on the design of chisel you've got and how frequently you would like to replace the handle. Other thing that happens with your Japanese chisels, as far as I'm aware, they are always a socket design, which means you have the wooden handle. This one happens to have a little bit of a ferrule here, and I think that's why this one doesn't fall off, but it's an open socket. You make a conical wedged shape on your handle, jams in to this part down here, and that's how it attaches. Every time you hit it, it knocks that handle further in, and so it operates in that manner. Western chisels do have some of those socket designs, but most of them are going to be like this one, which is a tang design. It's got a narrow piece of metal that pushes up probably this far into your handle. Some of them are a little bit shorter, some of them are a little bit longer. You normally heat them and smack them on, and so it's pushed right up in there, and they will always have a ferrule here in that design because every time you hit it, it's likely to split to timber, so it needs something to stop it splitting. Interestingly, with your Japanese chisels, they generally have two different styles of chisels. I have seen some videos of some old Japanese makers and they have rolls and rolls and rolls of different style of chisels, but to the layman they have two styles of chisels. They have what's known as your bench chisel and then your heavier duty chisel, which I do not have, which is larger, thicker, heavier and designed to be hit with a bigger hammer. Your bench ones, this is about a 200 gram brass headed hammer. 200-300 grams is probably the most you're going to want to use on a bench chisel because they're mainly designed for your joinery. Fine work, dovetails, all that sort of thing. Whereas your heavier duty chisels that are much larger can be hit with a much heavier hammer, like 500-600 grams. So your big, heavy Japanese hammers, which don't tend to get too much heavier than that unless they're using a sledgehammer to put joinery together. But with Western chisels, we have a whole bunch of different styles of chisels for different work. We have paring chisels, we have mortising chisels, we have bevel-edged bench chisels, we have firmer chisels, which are not as common these days, but we have all these different designs. With the Japanese, your bench chisel and your heavier chisels are really the two main chisels that they use for everything, including using them for your joinery, doing your mortises, all that sort of thing. So you can get away with less types of chisels with your Japanese set, and that's actually a pretty good thing in my mind. The next major thing, at least with your modern newer chisels, they're all machine made. I don't think any of them are handmade. I could be wrong. I'm sure there'll be some makers out there that do still hand make them, but most of them are machine made. If we look at this Lubin one, it's a really good example of a cheaper chisel. You can see the big milling marks from the milling machines, so they're CNC milling machines. Those same marks were actually here as well, and so put into a machine, made or forged and then put into the machine to be polished to this state and sent out. Then obviously the handles get knocked on. I don't know whether they're done by machine, but the actual main parts of them, you can clearly see that work is done on a milling machine. In contrast, your Japanese chisels, as far as I'm aware, all these styles, they'll have their own individual maker's marks and stickers on here. I'm not quite sure what that actually says, but they're all handmade. Individual makers make all of these by hand and put them all together by hand. I don't believe any machining is used. Maybe there's a little bit in the forging process. The other thing that's a little bit different in these chisels, and one of the reasons the Japanese chisels are handmade versus these ones are, these are what are known as white paper chisels. I believe you can also get the blue paper ones as well. And so what they do is they forge weld what's known as white paper steel that holds a great edge, and it's welded or attached to the bottom of these chisels to allow it to get a nice strong edge here. Your Western chisels, however, don't do that forge welding process. That same process that the Japanese use on their chisels was actually used back in the day out of England by Stanley and a lot of the makers. Then they would forge weld some cutting steel to the bottom edge of your hand plane blades, and when they ran out, they'd cut the edge, forge weld another piece on there. So it's a similar technique, but not the same as what the Japanese use with their chisels. Also, the same thing with the cutting edge was actually welded into a lot of axes, so they had weaker steel at the back where the eye was, and the harder steel in the front. So it's a common practice that's used. It's just not used in Western style modern chisels. Most of your mass producing, it's obvious that it's mass produced. They're using mass producing machines, modern machines, and not the vintage style way of doing them. Does it make the chisel work any better? Not really. The Japanese chisel holds an edge much longer and better and easier than my Lubin style, which is a much cheaper chisel, but it actually still works really well. It just doesn't keep an edge as well in those really hard timbers. These will last a lot longer. They strop really easily to actually maintain that edge if you regularly strop them. I find, although you can strop these ones, the stropping has a lesser effect, and I really have to go back to my stones more with this style, this particular brand. I'm not saying all of them are like that, versus the Japanese one here. So I suppose you're wondering, is there really any fundamental difference in the way these chisels work? No, not really. A sharp chisel is a sharp chisel, and it'll get the work done. Doesn't matter if it's a Western one, doesn't matter if it's a Japanese one. Most of it comes down to personal preference, really, and both these chisels work just as well. I'm enjoying the Japanese chisels because they last longer. I tend to work with some harder timbers with Jarrah and whatnot, and so it is nice not having to go back to the stones as frequently, and that's why I've been favouring these. I also find that these are a little better balanced, and they just feel a little bit better in the hand with its slightly smaller design, whereas a lot of these ones, because they've got a much longer blade, they tend to be a little less balanced, and I've heard that's why some people like to use the socketed style over these tanged style, because they tend to balance a little bit better as well than than the ones with the tangs. However, you can see I can still balance it here, but it's just not as balanced. Being a taller chisel, it's just a little more ungainly in the hand, and when you're trying to line up on the back of dovetails and things like that, you generally have to grab down on the blade a little bit more, whereas the Japanese one, because of where it sits and its design, you can sort of just grab it in the hand and line it up and go for it a little bit easier. And with the socketed design, which is what I like, you can sort of get your hand right down. And on these ones, because it's not here, so if we were doing that on the Western style, it's still, you're a long way away from the cutting edge. So fundamentally, I prefer the design of these and the balance of them, but ultimately, as long as they're sharp, they're going to do the job. You've just seen me talk about a few reasons why I like the Japanese chisel over a Western chisel, and really it's just personal preference, as I said. And ultimately, is there some areas where a Western chisel is better than a Japanese chisel? Yes, I think when it comes to certain pairing tasks, because you've got a full continuous flat back, assuming you flatten the whole thing, which most of the time we recommend only flattening about 1 inch of it, because that's where most of your work is done. But if you're using one of these and you want to pair something this far in from the edge of your timber, and you've got this entire thing flattened, you could run on a little tiny piece in the middle and it would be flat. You do that with this one, your only reference is here and then back here. So if you're referencing a smaller piece, this sometimes might not reference, and so it's more vital with the Japanese chisel to make sure you're keeping it flat, the technique that you're using if you want to use a larger chisel for that. But sizing the chisels, see, I've got kits where they come right down to these tiny ones, so you need to size your chisel far more with a Japanese chisel than you do with a Western chisel based on that back design. So there you have it, folks. I hope this helps you to compare and contrast the difference between Western chisels and Japanese chisels. I'm not in the boat that a Western chisel's inferior to a Japanese chisel. I know some people think anything with Japan or Japanese in front of it is far superior, like Japanese saws are far superior to Western saws. I'm not in that boat, especially when it comes to chisels. Yes, I like these. These work just as well. There's a big price difference between them as well. So I just hope that this helps you to compare and contrast the pros, the cons, all of that between them. To be honest, I don't think there's really any pros and cons differences between any of these chisels, because at the end of the day, as long as it's sharp, it's going to do the job. You could grab a piece of tool steel, put a bevel on it, and just start chiseling with it, and it will work the same as these specially designed chisels. So if you like this video, please do like and subscribe down below. While you're down there, do sound off in the comments what your thoughts are between these chisels, and also let me know if there's any other testing and things you'd like me to do to compare these style of chisels in the comments below. And if you'd like to see another great video such as the one you've seen here today, do check out the videos on the screen here that are recommended for you. Bye for now.